everybody, it's Melanie, and I'm your Tuesday vlogger on Back2BasicsWLS. How are you? All right, this week's question has to do with, well, let's be honest, I read the question, went, shit, because it has to do with nighttime food cravings, and food cravings in general. What do you do in the evening when you have that big craving thing going on in your head about eating? Is there a certain time in the evening that you stop eating? So, whereas I consider myself a zero in the expert department on this category, I don't think I'm an expert on anything anyway. But, meaning, I'm hoping that some of the things that I do to try to stay on track and minimize that can be helpful to you. And, but even pre-op, for 12 years I worked in this office with pure whole food eating vegans. So I would get into a meeting, I'd get into a meeting at, let's say, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and they wouldn't break. They wouldn't break. It might go till like 2 o'clock. And I learned this trick years ago, is that if I get up in the morning and I eat, eggs, bacon, something pure protein without carbs, I could make it through those meetings without being, in that case, I didn't want to be the chubby girl who was like, are we going to break and eat? Shit. But anyway, and that seemed to work for me. Like if I knew I was going to be somewhere or whatever. And it's interesting, right? Because it's just so true for me. And if you want, try that. Like I get up and eat some scrambled eggs with bacon, be good. And that happens to me sometimes when I'm doing good on a lower carb diet. Is you notice that you're not getting hungry as much, because a lot of this, am I an emotional eater? Yeah. Am I a stress eater? Yeah. But there is a difference when you're balancing your insulin, your hormones. And I don't have diabetes issues. I might have some insulin resistance, but I don't have issues. This is talking about every person. Well, for the most part, I'm not a doctor either. So basically, balancing your sugar spikes and whatnot will keep your hunger at a better level. And though it doesn't prevent emotional eating and it doesn't prevent cravings, it does a lot for it. It does a lot for it. But anyway, so again, for years, my junk food issue comes, and anytime that I call the safe time, right? So after like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, even when I'm doing the crappiest of crappy, sticking to any kind of good plan, I will not eat junk food in the morning. I will not eat crap in the morning. That's just clicked in my head. That doesn't feel like work. That doesn't feel like deprivation. That doesn't feel like anything. I know it's going to make me tired, and it's going to make me eat all day. It's just something that's in my head, and that's what I call riding the wave, when something feels natural and easy, so that it's just an easy choice. Now, can I carry that through? No, because something seems to happen. Something comes and steals that out of my body at about, some days 3 or 4 o'clock, and some days I can make it until later. But I know that if I... If my tendency is toward eating, snacking later at night, and it's going to be sugary or something that I necessarily shouldn't be having, I try to wait and do it at night, because to me it's the least mental and hormonal imbalance damage if you eat it and then you go to sleep, so you stop that pattern, okay? The other trick is just to eat something in, pure protein, a piece of string cheese, anything that kind of stops that craving thing. However, let me tell you, I used to tape Dr. Oz all the time, and I love Dr. Oz. I think he's smart. I think he gives us so much great information and breaks it down. It's just sometimes hard for me to watch the show because there's so much like pomp and game showy type of stuff that it gets a little frustrating sometimes. However, I went through and started taping it again, and some of them are repeats now. And this week was a great repeat show. He talked about the 99 diet foods that you should freely be able to get from your grocery store. Now just go to droz.com, or what I did in Google is typed in Dr. Oz 99 foods, and it came up as a list that that you can print. Now some of these things are things that I'm not going to eat, just based on things when I'm doing well of what I want to cut out. However, basically the premise, if we go to, I wonder if he has a dessert, right? What his thing is if you're going to snack at night so you don't have to feel deprived, and do it with some kind of food item, snack item that's decent for you. So he gives a list. Let me tell you, the dessert list, the dessert part is all this down here. And it's things like Soy Dream vanilla little ice cream sandwiches, the Arctic Zero that people talk about, the 150 calorie pints of ice cream, So Delicious chocolate mini sandwiches, that's the brand. But I think that's smart. I think it's smart to give you something, because what he's saying, basically try to pick something with some fibers, try to pick something without all the processed frankenfood crap. No. That's a suggestion. Do we always do that? The answer would be no. The other thing is about nighttime cravings that I've noticed for myself. I can, if I eliminate sugar from my diet, which I often do, really, because I know I feel better. I know I work out better the next day if I don't eat crap. I'm also talking about eliminating the fake sugars, because what happens is, and it's interesting, if you're someone who drinks Diet Snapple, some of the, like the, what's it called? Hold on. Powerade Zero, yummy stuff. A lot of those drinks, Crystal Light, whatever. If you choose sugar-free gum, and you notice, this is what it is, and you've probably heard people say this before. So I'm at day like 4, not today, but I'm at day 4 with no sugar, and I'm wondering, what the hell, why am I craving so much sugar? It should be totally out of my system from a craving perspective. That's how it works for Melanie, okay? Difficulty sustaining, because sometimes I get bored. But anyway, things I've noticed for me is that NutraSweet, aspartame, has a triggering factor in your body. And gum that you're chewing with aspartame will make you hungrier, or make you crave things. Even though it's not real sugar, sometimes your body can't tell the difference when it metabolizes, and it junks it. It sets things a little off balance. That conductor that's fixing all your hormonal balance stuff, it gets a little whacked out, takes a little break, and it creates cravings. Now, it's down so far as don't be brand specific. And Ed picked this up. You had 2 Diet Snapples, Diet Snapple Peach and Diet Snapple Half and Half, which is half lemonade and half iced tea. Okay, and Snapple, I love you, so I don't want to get in trouble for it saying. Anyway, there's a difference between the Snapple. These are Ed's 2 favorite, the peach and the half and half. And the peach he can no longer drink because the peach has aspartame, and it causes him to crave things, to crave sweets all day, and he doesn't want to go through that. Whereas the half and half has Splenda, and Splenda doesn't have that same effect on him. And I find that to be true too, because occasionally I'll have myself a little diet soda, which we all know you're not supposed to do with the lap band, but mine's not tight, so it's not damaging. And I spoke to my doctor about it. Anyway, I have to, if I'm going to do that, I have to have Coke Zero, or I have a preference towards Coke Zero, because again, Coke Zero has Splenda, and it doesn't cause the aspartame side effects. Besides aspartame being bad for you is a whole nother topic, a whole nother year of topics. So anyway, as far as nighttime goes, nighttime eating, do I stop myself from eating after a certain time at night? No, I've never really been one of those type of people. See, the thing is, I have a little bit of a jacked up sleeping pattern. I stay up pretty late. I get up too, or this is what I say. I stay up too late. I get up too early, and if I can, I pop me a nap, and it works for me. So if I eat dinner at like 7 or so, it's not so bad for me because I'm up till at least midnight. By the same token, though, I'm not hungry in the morning. Like if I get up at 7 or whatever, I'm not hungry. I don't think about food. I'm just not I'm not a morning eating person, unless I had carb crap the night before that I wake up starving. So I don't really have that rule. I know people who have a rule. Someone in my personal life who has a lap band who doesn't eat after 6 o'clock, and that's because she had reflux issues, and noticed, or 6 or 7 o'clock, and noticed that if she ate and or drank a lot after 6 or 7 o'clock, that she would have more reflux at night, and her body needed more time to process. So very interested in what you guys think about this, because what I would like to say is, when you have a craving and you want a cookie, or I don't know why I always pick cookies, but I used to pick ring dings. But anyway, let's say you want a cookie, and sometimes you just can't get it out of your head. And you have to have a cookie. That's why I say be happy if you only eat 2 or 3. And sometimes you're able to do, I've heard people use tricks such as drinking like a sugar-free hot chocolate, even an iced coffee. I use an iced coffee sometimes as a substitute for wanting to eat. That I really do. You know, whatever works for you. And hopefully we'll get a lot of suggestions and a lot of opinions throughout this topic, and it's helpful. Anyway, I hope you have a great week, and stay tuned for Pam and Tony tomorrow. Okay, thanks guys. Bye-bye.